Company purchased the rights to the books several years ago, and originally he wasn't going to direct it. They always had liked the story. Kelly Hart Hemmings wrote it. It's an original book, written by her, obviously. And there's two of the writers that are listed with Alexander. They were the original writers, and Alexander made a giant rewrite on it. And he always fascinated with the story. It's something we haven't seen a lot about. I don't think a lot of people know what a descendant is. I didn't. Now we do. And certainly the Hawaiian culture has really never been, shown much. And I think now everyone will know. So it was a fascinating story. The backdrop's unique in that sense. I just think it's a great story. Yes.
Were people in Hawaii, the authors will be Hawaiian, obviously, were they worried about having, Hawaii?
No, because Callie Hart, I think I understood you. Were they worried about the fact that mainlanders were depicting a story like that? I never got that from anybody there. We spent several months there prior to filming. Callie Hart Hemmings is from very deep Hawaiian blood herself. Her father is Fred Hemmings. Fred Hemmings is a famous surfer and is a senator in Hawaii. So her background is very extensive in the Hawaiian culture. There probably was some concern. It screened in Hawaii 2 weekends ago on Sunday, and my concern was there, but I got many emails saying that everyone was extremely pleased and happy about it. So it was a good ending. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure. I did. We ran out of extras that day. True. But that wasn't me yet. And I kind of look Hawaiian, so anyway. Thank you. I'm sure I'll get nominated for that. Any other questions? Anybody else? Yes, sir.
The Payne trust is very real, and this is a real aspect of Hawaiian society. There was a major legal case about it recently. As far as I know, this is all fiction. Is that right? I mean, it's interesting. They took a real situation, a real case.
It is fiction, but there was a very similar case. You're right. But it is completely a fictional story. Yes, you're well read. Yes, sir.
What attracted you to produce this film?
I work with Alexander Payne on all his films. So basically, whatever he wants to do, I jump on board with. He's a brilliant director, Academy Award-winning screenwriter, and I'm fortunate to be, in his association. So my attraction was purely the same as his. Great story, and let's go shoot Hawaiian. It's fantastic. Yes?
Yeah, the depiction of disability in this film is very interesting. I was wondering if you could speak to the choices that you made in some of the dialogue. I'm just curious, like, for instance, you said Payne rewrote it to some extent himself. I'm wondering if you could speak to, his personal opinion on it, or what he was driven to represent in the film.
Did you say disabilities?
Yeah, disabilities.
Disabilities. Well, it's pretty much taken right off the page of the book itself. He sometimes when he rewrites his screenplays off of books, it changes dramatically. You take the idea and run with it. In this case, if you read the book, which is available, it's very to the point and accurate as to, he stayed strictly with the story. So this was all, a lot of it was Callie Hart Hemmings, depiction of what her story was all about. I don't think he added anything or took away anything from disabilities. So that's pretty much the answer.
I haven't read the book, so.
It's a great book. It's a quick read, actually. Anybody else?
Yep. Whose idea was it to have Morgan Freeman on the Discovery Channel talk about the Descendants in Antarctica to close the movie?
Alexander Payne.
That was not in the book?
No. No, it was on the book.
Very clever.
Thank you, I'll tell him that. It was. I actually didn't know about it until about a week before we filmed it. I thought it was brilliant. It's the kind of thing that, you know, families get together and watch. Yes?
How did you find the two young actors?
He takes a lot of time in casting. It's very extensive. Shailene Woodley, that character, the older sister, came out of looking at like probably 200 or 300 actresses, literally, on tape, or meeting them in person. But she was always his first choice for him, and that was relatively painless to find, comparatively to the others. The younger one took a long time, and she was an unknown actress, and now she's, going to be a big actress. But just a lot of casting. He uses the same casting director time and time again, and it takes a long time. He usually casts for 3 or 4 months before the film, so it's a big process. Yeah.
What to you was the main moral of the film?
The main moral of the film. That's a tough one. There's probably many. I don't know if there's one, sir. That's a tough question, to tell you the truth.
Two.
Life, death. That's 2 of them. His stories are always very dramatically, harsh, and at the same time very comedic. It's hard to pinpoint that answer. I mean, did you get anything out of it like that? Anything that you particularly got out of it? Because you can interpret it in very many different ways, I think. If you've had someone you love die, you can relate to that. If you've had someone cheat on you in your marriage, you can relate to that. The moral of the story, life's not fair, that would be something I would probably say. I hope that answers your question. Anybody else?
And speaking of the,
Go ahead.
you were talking about the harsh drama, while at the same time, sometimes the most, I'd say the harshest scenes were also funny. Did the book also have that kind of humor, or was that something that Alexander Payne?
Somewhat, but that's what he's great at.
Yeah.
Sideways, about Schmidt. So I'd have to say no. He wrote most of that himself. Yes?
Yeah, I was going to ask, was there a lot of rehearsal time before the film? And did he work at all with, like, improvisation with the actors to come up with some of the, more comical and pithy kind of lines, or was it completely scripted?
It's completely scripted. There is some ad-libbing, but very little in his process. Going by memory on several films now, he rehearses for a 2-week period prior, every day, for 2 weeks, that's it. And we usually have a read-through of the script at the very beginning, and some ad-libbing goes on there, and some of it gets put in the script and some of it doesn't. Yeah, but he's very strong in the script still. It doesn't change a lot.
No, I was going to say, like, someday I wrote the moral of the film. I think
No.
the moral of the film is that even the entitled are not immune to heartache and death and cheating and all of the terrible things that come along with life. That we kind of look at people that have money and privilege and we say,
He says that at the beginning, I agree with you. He says that at the beginning when he says everybody on the mainland thinks he lives in paradise.
Yeah.
And, in paradise they have cancer and everything else that he depicts there. So yeah, I agree with you. That's another good way to look at it.
Depicting poor people, but
Right. Right. You're right. It's great because you can take what you want from it. Yes, ma'am.
I may have completely missed something, but what would have happened at the end of the 7 years? When is that? Was it the law of perpetuity they were talking about, or?
Yes, exactly. They have to do something with it once they've inherited it. Either sell it or they keep it, or it's a vague law that's old, for the state of Hawaii, apparently, and, but that's pretty much who it is.
Yes, have you considered casting someone else besides George Clooney? What would happen if he wasn't the star?
No, George was always the front runner. He had read the book, and he knew Alexander was directing it, and took a meeting, and that was it. They have a relationship from past, so I think George was perfect. Anybody else? Good. Thank you very, very much.